Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back, and Happy New Year to you all. I hope you're having a positive and productive day so far. My name is Kel with the Planner Isle, and today I'm reviewing the January Deluxe subscription by 8Lotus and sharing all of the ways you can use what's inside. This is a fairly new planner subscription. This is the 5th box they've sent, but all of their boxes so far have been absolutely fantastic, and I'm super excited to see what they've included in this one. Make sure to stick around until the end for my final thoughts, and as always, feel free to leave me a comment below with any questions or topics that you'd like for me to include in my next video. Without further ado, let's hop in. So first we have this vellum card that details what's in the box. The first 2 categories are what's included in the classic subscription, and all 4 categories are included in the deluxe. Then we have a little thank you card, a horizontal calendar card for January, and a square journaling card that says one step at a time. We get these with every box and every purchase that you make on their website. Next, for Deluxe subscribers, we have our planner accessories pack. They include one of these each month and is one of my favorite items in the box. Each pack has a monthly intention card, 3 matching journaling cards, 3 smaller print cards, and a date card for the month. For January, our intentions are set clear goals, embrace consistency, and focus on health, printed on a white abstract background. The matching journaling cards are in black, beige, and gray, which complement the intention card really nicely, and the intentions themselves are perfect for the month of January and really good reminders to have at the start of the new year. The 3 print cards for January are very winter themed. We have a snow-covered house, a snowy owl, and trees in winter. Very spot on for winter, especially with January being the coldest month of the year. Then we have the January date card with a Monday start calendar and 6 lines to write your goals for the month, to-dos, events, or anything else that you want to. And this card, along with the intention card, both live in my main agenda. This is a fantastic little set that they include for Deluxe subscribers, and it makes it worth the upgrade in my opinion if you're trying to choose between Classic and Deluxe. You can reuse these intention cards each year, and it serves as a really great reminder and motivator to have in your planner. Next, we have 4 dashboards. These 2 are included in the Classic subscription, and all 4 come with the Deluxe. So looking at these 2 first, this is the modern architecture dashboard. You have a photo of what looks like a zoomed in picture of a building on the front and the back. It's printed on a heavyweight cardstock with bluish gray, beige, and black coloring. It's paired with a semi-transparent vellum dashboard that says each step you take may be small, but it's leading you to new heights. Such a great quote and a perfect complement to the architectural theme of the cardstock dashboard. You can use these separately, but I absolutely love them layered together. It really enhances the wording on the front and it gives meaning to the photo print. This is another example of how they use color in a subtle and understated way. I feel like color can sometimes be really tricky in the world of functional planning, but they managed to pull it off here really well. I don't know how I'll use this. For now, it'll go in my dashboard binder. I feel like that's the hardest part about this for me, is choosing which ones that I want to feature in my agenda because they're all so nice, but that's a good problem to have though, so no complaints. Next, we have our seasonal dashboards. First is the Snowy Mountains dashboard. Here you have a photo of a mountain covered in snow printed on heavy cardstock, and similar to the modern architecture dashboard, this is also printed on the back as well, which gives a nice cohesive look to your planner as you flip your pages. The colors are right in line with the rest of the box, this sort of pale blue, gray, and white cold winter theme, and like the seasonal dashboards they've sent in previous boxes, the print here really embodies the theme of January so well, especially if you live up north where you actually see snow. For me, I'm in New Orleans, so no snow for me, but one can always dream. I've loved all of their seasonal dashboards and I use them in the front of my main agenda. This one is just as gorgeous, so I'll definitely be doing the same thing for January. Beautiful, beautiful dashboard and a great addition to the box. It came paired with this January monthly vellum cover. They've been sending a different style of their covers for us to try each month. These are the past ones they've sent, but this one is by far my favorite. I love the simplicity, and it's an easy way to add a little design to your weekly or monthly layouts. I don't use monthly covers in my planner at the moment. My spreads aren't really set up that way, but if you do use covers, these are a really simple, low profile option that'll fit pretty much any style or agenda. Moving on, they included 4 inserts this month. We have a weekly planner, to-do grid list, budget calendar, and wellness goals inserts. So starting with the weekly planner first, here you have your cover page, 14 undated week on 2-page layouts, and a blank notes page on the back. Looking at your weekly layout, at the top it says weekly plan with a box to write the month and year, and then on the first page you have 2 columns for each day of the week with 3 lines in each box and a blank graph grid on the second page. So this is a really neat style of weekly inserts. It reminds me a lot of academic spreads, which makes it a really great fit for those who want to plan your week rather than log it. You can write down your goals or to-dos over on the left and then use the grid to write out the detail. Because there's 2 boxes for each date, you can use one to list maybe your top 3 work priorities and the other to list your top 3 personal or home tasks you need to complete. If you didn't want to use it for scheduling or as a task planner, this would make a really great meal planner, which is what I plan to use this for. Use the left column to write breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the right one to write out snacks or smaller meals. And then the grid is where I'll write out recipes, make grocery lists, list calories or servings, or whatever else I feel like writing. That's one of the great things about these type of layouts. You can really find creative ways to use them, even if it's not for its intended purpose. You do have 14 weeks here, so there's plenty of weeks for you to give these a try and see if they fit in your routine. I think a lot of people will get good use out of these, a very practical and versatile insert for us to start the new year in. Next, we have to-do list inserts. There's 15 sheets front and back, so 30 pages total. At the top, you have a blank box and to-do, and then below that, you have 8 sections with space to write out your task or category, a dial to check it off once complete, and then a grid underneath to list any detail. So this is a very simple but structured to-do list. Unlike a running list, this one is designed to break apart your tasks and check them off by category as opposed to just a general task list. So for example, let's say you have a full-time job, kids in school, you've started a new workout routine, and you have a small business on the side. You could use each section to manage your tasks for each area in your life. So the first 2 could be for work to-dos. This one could be a list of things that you need to buy or do for your work. This one could be a list of homework or meetings or things related to your kids' school. And then you could have one to list tasks related to any outstanding orders or things that you need to do with your business. Having it broken out by category, it lets you prioritize those things that are the most urgent and makes it easier to visualize what's left to do for each area in your life. And because there's 15 pages, you can still use this as a running list and use highlighters and pens to mark through those that you've completed and just move on to the next page if you need more space than what one box gives you. I don't really use separate to-do lists in my main planner. All of mine are kind of interspersed within each of my sections, but I know a lot of people prefer separate lists like these. If you do like individual lists to track your tasks, this is an excellent layout to do that with, especially if you want to prioritize your tasks as well. I may end up using these in one of my supplemental planners as a dedicated to-do list. The setup is really interesting and it will definitely help me see my outstanding items a lot better. Next is this budget calendar. Similar to the weekly planner, you have your cover page followed by 14 week on 2-page layouts and a notes page at the back. Looking at your weekly spread, you have a box for the month and year at the top, followed by 1 column for the week where you can list your tasks or things you need to make a note of or complete, a column for each day of the week, and then at the bottom, you have 1 area for budget and 1 for actual with a line to write income, expenses, and savings. So I actually had to re-record this. I originally thought that these were weekly inserts and each box was for a different budget category, which didn't really make sense, but then I realized they're undated monthlies, which completely changed my review. So I think that these could be beneficial for people who have a simple budget. The way it's set up, you number your calendar based on the month you're on, and then you can use these lines to either write your expenses for that date or total a specific category that you're tracking. So for example, let's say you're tracking how much you're spending on groceries, eating out, stationery, and non-essentials. You could list those categories here and how much you spent that day. The downside is that doing it that way, it won't give you a complete look at your total budget, just the areas that you're concentrating on, but it could be good for those who use use another method for their whole budget and tend to overspend in certain areas. Another way you could use this is just as a bill calendar. You wouldn't have a need for the budget and actual sections down below, but you could write out your bills due for each date, similar to how I use my wall calendar. One thing I don't like about this spread is the number of lines you get for each box. If there's a day that you go shopping or something, you're going to run out of room super quickly. I feel like it may have been better if these were blank and it allowed us to include whatever amount of lines that we wanted to. Another thing that's a little more minor, but just a pet peeve of mine, is at the start of the week, you have a this week column where you can list a number of things, but I wish it was highlighted a bit differently so it stood out a bit more. It blends in with the days of the week and makes it difficult at a glance to realize it's not a day of the week. Even if they had this column be blank, it would have added a little more visual interest to a heavily lined page. Overall, I think the idea here is good, but I feel like only a handful of people will get proper use out of this. I think if you have a simple budget, this could work for you, or if you're trying to significantly reduce your expenses, you may be able to find some use out of these. Otherwise, though, I don't see this working for most people on a long-term basis. Budgeting spreads are super tricky though because it is so personal. Again, the idea was definitely there, but execution-wise, these will unfortunately be a pass for me. But as always, I'd love to know if and how you plan to use these, and if so, then let me know in the comments. The last insert this month are the wellness goals inserts. Here you have 16 pages total. At the top, you have a box for the year with 4 sections and 2 columns underneath. You have one goals column with 6 lines in each box and one action steps column with 6 lines and 5 dials to check off when you've completed that goal. On the front, the 4 sections are physical, financial, occupational, and spiritual. And on the back, the 4 sections are intellectual, emotional, environmental, and social. So these are great goal overview inserts and perfect inserts to include as we start a new year. I like how it gives you space for all of the different areas in your life to list on one page instead of separate pages. It's a much more comprehensive way to view and see your entire well-being goals for the year. The only thing that confuses me is why we have so many of these sheets. There's plenty of space for each category to list your goals, so I can't imagine a lot of people needing multiple pages for the same section. So maybe I'm missing something here, but these are fantastic inserts to have and a really great one to include in your goal planner if you have one, or at the front of your agenda if you have an inspiration page or a goals section in your planner. That's how I plan to use these. I have a vision board in my business planner, so I'll likely use one of these pages there, but this is an excellent insert to have in your collection. It's a good way to keep your goals front and center, and it makes it easier to stay on track and stay accountable. So moving on from inserts, next we have a set of mini label stickers. This is their essentials pack. You have 2 sheets of priority, to do, and reminder stickers, so that's 18 of each, or 54 stickers total. These are very basic, very functional stickers. They're super tiny, so they can fit your smaller boxes or spaces in your planner, which makes them great for tight spreads where you may not have a lot of space, or in smaller agendas like pocket or personal size. They are not transparent. They're printed on a white matte paper, so something to consider if you're layering these over something or using them on colored paper. Really good little stickers to have in your collection if you use labels, and a great one to add to your functional routine. Next, we have a set of Cocoa Fusion page flags. These are the same page flags we got in our October box, but the colors here match the theme of January. There's 4 separate dispensers with 30 sheets in each, one in dark gray, one in this sort of sea blue, one in cream, and one in light gray. Page flags are always nice to get, but the great thing about these is that you can detach the dispensers themselves and stick them anywhere you want to. You can stick it to your desk or maybe a divider in your agenda so you can grab them whenever you want to. Page flags, kind of like stickies, have unlimited use potential, so they're always welcome in sub boxes in my opinion. These are really great flags. You get a lot of them to use here, and I'm really glad they gave us colors that match the rest of the box. Next, we have a set of 30 order tracker planner cards. These are wallet cards, so they're designed to fit into credit card size pockets, which is great for most wallets or planners with credit card slots. At the top, it says order tracker, and then underneath are 5 rows and 4 columns. You have a column for date, one for description, one for amount, and one to check off once the item has shipped and once it's been delivered. These are great little cards to have. I've seen a ton of order tracker inserts and pads and even stickies, but I've never seen them in a planner card format, so that's really interesting to see. I like that they include a pretty good amount here, so they should last you a long time. If you wanted to extend the use of them, you could always use a transparent sticky on top like this one here, or laminate it and use a wet erase or oil-based pen to write on it with. I also like that they include a line here at the top, so if you're making purchases for a specific area, you can track those together. So for example, let's say you're buying stickers for your planner for 2025, you can write planner stickers at the top and then use this to track the status of each order. These are super small and easy to carry, so I'll throw a couple of these in my wallet and see if I end up using them. I'm actually terrible at remembering what I ordered, especially if I'm ordering from Etsy or something where I'm buying like 10 things in one order, so maybe this will be a good card for me to have. Last, they included one pen this month. This is the Uni Pen oil-based marking pen. This one is in black with a 0.49mm felt tip. Doing a pen test here, these write really nicely. The tip is very sharp and precise. I have two of these pens, and the great thing about them is because they are oil-based, you can write on vellum, vinyl, transparent stickies, and plastic without your ink smearing or having to wait forever for it to dry. It also doesn't change or alter the color when it does dry down like similar oil-based pens. The ink stays a very dark, solid black. The barrel is a simple gray and black, and unless you're writing a lot with this pen, they tend to last a really long time. They aren't the most comfortable to hold, but for intermittent writing, they work perfectly fine. The ink in one of mine is almost gone, so I'm glad that they popped one of these in this box. I feel like every planner should have at least one oil-based pen, and these are definitely a top quality one to have. And that wraps up the January Deluxe box from 8Lotus. So I feel like a broken record at this point, but once again, this is another great box from this planner shop. I think the thing that I love the most about their boxes is that they don't have a theme each month, but yet each box perfectly represents what the month feels like. I loved the wintry designs this month, and the grays and blues felt really on par with what I imagine January looks like in my head. My favorite item this month was between the Snowy Mountain dashboard and the weekly planner inserts, but I'm going to give it to the Snowy Mountains dashboard. It fits the month so well, and I can't wait to change it out in the front of my agenda. My least favorite item this month are the budget calendar inserts. I saw the idea and what they were going for, but the execution was a little off in my opinion. I think a few people could make it work, but I feel like the majority are going to have trouble with it for their own personal financial routine. All in all though, this is a solid box, very well constructed, and as always, highly functional. I also love that even though we get different things each month, there's always a pattern so we have an idea of what to expect, and 4 dashboards and 4 inserts are just chef's kiss when it comes to a planner sub box. Super happy with this box, and I can't wait for next month. And that is it, you guys. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more planning and organizational content, please hit that like button and subscribe. It helps my channel out a lot. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram for more planner tips and inspo, sending positive vibes your way. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of your day.